Hey Weartesters, Duke4005 back with a new performance review. This time over a shoe I got in a little care package a couple of weeks ago that really surprised me with the items and the care that was put into it, and that is the Under Armour Curry 2. Very anticipated shoe this year, probably the most anticipated follow-up to the success of last year's model, with both the cushioning, the materials, everything last year being pretty much top-notch. People were really wondering how the Under Armour was going to follow up. There's some changes in materials, changes in cushioning. We'll get into that in a little bit. So for now, just know we put many wears in this thing. Let's see how it performs. All right, as always, and first things first, we're going to get started with the materials of the shoe. Good night. That's a dirty pair. I wore this one outside. Let me grab the other shoe. Hold on. Okay, first off, like always, go into the materials. We've got a speed form upper with a fused forefoot, and it's not that the materials are bad, but they feel like a letdown from the Anafoam of the Curry 1, where the Anafoam felt like it was a special material made for a special shoe, which the Curry 1 really was. The speed form upper on the Curry 2 feels like, like we've been here before. You get a fuse around the forefoot here, which starts off pretty stiff, but it breaks in really nicely. You can see the flexes and the crease points here forming around your toes, which it does that in the first 2 or 3 games, no problems there. The speed form around the ankle here is really thin, and it almost feels like a Chuck Taylor, but it's got a little more support than what you would get in a Chuck Taylor. Wraps around the ankle perfectly, provides a really good one-to-one fit in the ankle, coupled with this soft heel counter here, which is just enough, ties in with the TPU shank, so you don't get much movement there. The fingers hold you tight. One thing I did find, and it's not really materials, but kind of the structure of the shoe, is this tongue. It's not a sleeved tongue this year. It is a separate piece, just held up by this old-fashioned lace loop. Not a bad thing, because it is wide and it is fat. It does wrap around your ankle, but it does slide just a little bit while you're playing. Midsole's charged foam. We'll get into that in the cushioning, and solid rubber herringbone outsole, and we'll get into that in the traction. So let's get into it. On the performance side, the first thing we'll look at is fit. The shoe does fit true to size. I've heard some questions about, is it a little bit too short, and it's because of this squared off toe box. If you're used to a more rounded toe box, you'll find that yes, it does look a little bit short, but it's cut wider through here too, which I remember the Jordan, the briefcase 17, talking about the squared toe box. It allows your toes to splay out better while you're playing instead of having that rounded form and kind of pinching them. So you're able to fit a little bit shorter. I would not suggest going down a half a size. I think it'll be too short if you do that. Stay true. Even if it feels a little bit tight, it will break in and start flexing with your foot and feel a little bit better. Fit through the midfoot. These laces right here really allow the shoe to pull up tight. I love these wider lace holes. It lets the shoe really cinch in and really dig in and get tight on you. Ankle fit, again, it doesn't have the dog bone Achilles padding back here like we got last year, but there is a little bit of padding right in this area to keep that heel cup from slicing in. So the heel is laced and tight and just perfect in there on that fit. One thing I will say, there's a very fine line on this shoe between too tight and too loose on lacing. I like to lace mine as tight as possible. I don't like any movement whatsoever, but in this shoe, that tight was just too tight. I started having some foot pain, some cramping, and I had to loosen up a little bit. You loosen up too much, you're going to get some movement in this forefoot. So play with it, find out what works for you, but you can get the perfect fit just through a little bit of lacing effort. All right, moving from fit, next up is traction. I really love this traction pattern. I've been lucky in the last 3 or 4 shoes I've reviewed have had pretty good to outstanding traction, the best being the Rose 6 so far. This shoe is a really close runner with that Rose 6. You can see the starburst herringbone type of pattern through the forefoot. The heel being decoupled right here and split from the forefoot. Let you really dig in with these flex grooves. They come through and allow your forefoot to just really flex and push off. No issues whatsoever on any of the courts I played on. A couple of really dirty 24 courts, rubber court at church, a really clean high school court out here, and there was no problem whatsoever on any court. As for outdoor, I've worn these outdoor in my driveway. I haven't played any real ball in them, just doing some drills and some shooting stuff, and I can't really see any wear on this traction, but I haven't put a lot of time on them in the parks or outdoor. However, the pattern is really set wide. It's pretty thick. The grooves are pretty deep. And it's pliable, but it's not super soft like a clear or a translucent sole would be. So I think you'd be okay with these outdoor for a little while as well. Traction being what it is, it's not going to take long to talk about it. So we'll go into transition 2 in this category as well. Transition on this shoe is much improved over the 1. Under Armour used to have a reputation as being kind of a slappy shoe, which meant you could feel the heel hit, then the forefoot, and it kind of slapped into the movements. By decoupling this forefoot from the heel and then also splitting the heel, the transition is smoothed out greatly. You feel like you can play on your toes at all times and just stay up and stay ready to move. And this heel being split, everybody's seen Curry play by now. He comes off of pick, down screens, comes off of picks, stops, pops threes. As he plants on that heel, this heel being split allows him, if he lands on the outside just a little bit, he's still got traction there that's hitting the floor. If he lands on the inside coming off and tries to cut, he's got this part hitting the floor to give him some traction. So that's really a good idea. I think we first saw it on like the Jordan 2009, I think, with the, or 2010, I don't remember what it was. 2009 that had the springs in the back. So it's a good idea, put into good practice, and it really works on this shoe well. Alright, so we'll move up from the traction into the cushioning. It says charged foam. I believe it's charged foam. No reason to doubt. But once you put it on, you will start to wonder what charged foam was last year. There's definitely more bounce, more plush to this version than last year. And I think they took a note from the running division, because this feels a ton like the Gemini and like the running shoes, the charged cushioning in the running shoes so far this year. It's really it's bouncy, but it's thin. It's really close and hugs the floor. It's not as plush as you would get in a Boost shoe or like an Air Max shoe or even the Jetlon from Brand Black, but it's tighter. It feels more responsive from just a quick push-off point. It doesn't have that give to it that you get from those other foams. And if you're looking for a super quick responsive, this is definitely the shoe for you. Again, it does ride really low to the court. Your foot sits right in through this area. This is a bumper sidewall right here to kind of hold you over. So your foot sits right in this area. So it does ride really close. And again, I don't really feel the activation, as they say, when you're standing in it. And then when you put pressure on it, it activates. I guess me being a bigger guy, that for my size especially, that it's always activated, I don't know. So, but it does get the job done. I didn't feel any kind of harsh landings. Matter of fact, I don't remember landing off at all in this shoe. It's that stable and that well balanced. But more on that on the next category in support. But if you're looking for that low ride response, definitely look into the charged. All right, for the last category, we got support. And for support, we've pretty much just got the basics here. We've got our heel cup, which once you feel this thing, it's really, really soft. It was really surprising to me. It's not solid at all. It's just kind of a rubber overlay. You got an outrigger here on the forefoot to kind of keep you upright on those push-offs. So it's not really, really defined, but it does stick out all the way down from the midfoot into the toes. So that'll keep you upright on that level. And then of course you've got this large plate right here under the midfoot we talked about earlier. Just a TPU plate. It's not super stiff. Ends about here and here. So you're not getting that forefoot stiffness you would from a full-length carbon fiber or TPU plate. Really aids in your transition and getting out on the brakes. Other than that, you just got your basic lacing system. Pulls it up tight, good to go. Shoe fits good, cushioning's good. Support should be a no-brainer. So Weartesters, to wrap up, the Under Armour Curry 2 really performs well on the traction. The cushioning is really low to the ground, really firm. Fit, to me, after the first 3 or 4 wears, really breaks in and fits nicely. Just give it a little while to break in. Again, shoes are supposed to crease, that's what they do. That means they're fitting your foot better. The materials, to be honest, I preferred the Antifoam, but these materials are not bad. They form to your foot, they really make a sock-like feel, which is what Speed Form is supposed to do. If you're looking for good traction, good cushioning, good fit, look no further. If you're a guard, this shoe should fit your game perfectly, whatever your game is at a guard position, whether it's pulling up shooting threes like Curry or getting to the hole, you should be good to go. Bigger men might want to look at something a little more stable, a little more supportive, but again, unless you're just the biggest of big guys, this shoe should fit your needs, especially us weekend warriors that get out and play just whenever we can. It's priced at $130, and I think that's, you know, not a huge increase from last year's Signature. $10 when other companies are increasing $40, $50, $60 every time you turn around and producing no new technology. So again, Weartesters Under Armour Curry 2 is everything you should need and want in a guard shoe. Up next, again, 361. I've still got the runners coming. Basketball wise, I've really got an interesting pair. If you followed my Instagram, you know what it is. Let's just say there's an old company that may be back in the game with this production. So until then, Weartesters, signing off.